Daniel and Claire had been married for 11 years and lived a peaceful life in Chicago. Daniel worked long hours at a finance company, while Claire worked at a small bookstore nearby. Their love was quiet but deep. They were different in personality. Daniel was serious and calm, while Claire was cheerful and emotional, yet they completed each other perfectly. They first met at university, and from the beginning Daniel felt safe around her. Even after years of marriage, he still loved watching her smile. But lately, Claire had changed. She looked tired all the time, stayed awake late at night, and often avoided conversations. Whenever Daniel asked if something was wrong, she simply smiled and said she was fine. One rainy evening, Daniel returned home earlier than usual after work was cancelled because of a power outage. He decided to surprise Claire instead of calling her. As he approached the house quietly, he heard laughter coming from inside. A man's voice. Daniel froze. Slowly, he moved toward the back door and listened carefully. Then his heart sank when he recognized the voice. It belonged to Ethan, his younger brother. Confused and nervous, Daniel stood silently outside, unaware that the next few minutes would completely change his life forever. Daniel remained hidden outside the kitchen while Claire and Ethan continued talking inside. His mind filled with terrible thoughts. He feared Claire was hiding something horrible from him. "You can't keep this secret forever," Ethan said quietly. Claire's voice trembled. "I know, but I'm scared." Daniel's chest tightened painfully. Then Ethan spoke again. "The doctors already confirmed the cancer has spread." Daniel stopped breathing. Claire began crying softly. "I didn't want Daniel to know yet. I wanted more time before everything changed." Daniel felt completely numb. Cancer. Not betrayal. Not cheating. His wife was dying. "I can't watch him suffer again," Claire whispered. "After losing the babies, he already went through enough pain." Ethan gently held her hand. "You're trying to protect him, but you're suffering alone." Daniel suddenly understood every strange thing Claire had done over the past few months. The sleepless nights, the fake smiles, the hidden tears. She wasn't leaving him emotionally. She was preparing herself to leave this world. Unable to face them, Daniel quietly walked back outside and sat inside his car for nearly an hour. When he finally entered the house normally, Claire smiled weakly. "You're home early," she said softly. Daniel forced himself to smile back while hiding the heartbreak inside him. The following weeks became painful for Daniel. Every moment with Claire now felt fragile because he knew the truth she was hiding. Yet he stayed silent. He noticed things he had ignored before: medicine bottles hidden inside drawers, pain in Claire's eyes whenever she moved too quickly, and the exhaustion she tried hard to hide behind fake smiles. At night, Daniel stayed awake listening to her breathing, terrified of losing her. One evening, Claire accidentally dropped a glass in the kitchen and immediately began crying. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Daniel hugged her tightly. "You don't need to apologize." For a moment, he thought she would finally tell him everything. But she stayed silent again. Days later, Daniel found medical reports hidden in her drawer. Stage 4 cancer. Less than 1 year left. He locked himself inside the bathroom afterward and cried uncontrollably. That same night, Daniel heard Claire sobbing inside their bedroom during a phone call. "I don't want to die," she whispered brokenly. "I'm scared all the time." Daniel stood outside the door with tears streaming down his face. Finally, he understood the truth completely. Claire hid her illness not because she didn't trust him, but because she loved him too much to watch him suffer. Slowly, Daniel opened the bedroom door. Claire turned around in shock, instantly realizing he knew everything. Claire stared at Daniel with fear and tears in her eyes. "How long have you known?" she whispered. Daniel sat beside her quietly. "Since the night Ethan visited." Claire immediately broke down crying. "I didn't want to hurt you." Daniel held her hand gently. "You were trying to protect me." For the first time in months, there were no secrets between them. Claire finally told him everything: the diagnosis, the failed treatments, and the fear she carried every day. Daniel listened silently before saying softly, "You don't have to suffer alone anymore." From that night onward, their relationship changed. The fear remained, but the silence disappeared. They began spending more time together, talking honestly, revisiting old memories, and appreciating small moments they once ignored. Even during painful hospital visits, Daniel never left her side. One winter evening, Claire rested her head on his shoulder and whispered, "I wasted so much time being afraid of dying that I forgot to enjoy living." A few months later, Claire passed away peacefully while Daniel held her hand beside her bed. Her loss shattered him, but she taught him something important. Real love is not about avoiding pain. It is about standing beside someone during their darkest moments. Years later, Daniel still missed her deeply. But whenever he remembered Claire, he chose to remember her laughter, not her illness.